Hey everybody, it's Dancin David from dancintime.com, and it is February 2011, and welcome to our podcast. Great to see you all out there, and I hope you're all enjoying all the great videos and information and stories from people who dance from around the world. I wanted to take a few minutes and just kind of summarize some of the things that I learned this weekend and talking with people and seeing all the different dances at the Dance Flurry. We filmed Israeli dancing, contra dancing, square dancing, swing dancing, Latin dancing. We filmed all these different forms of dancing, and my question about it all is, why do we dance? And also, how does dancing create community? And what is it about dancing that brings people together? And what's special about dancing and music that brings people together? What I learned is that music started as a form of communication, a way for the tribes to talk from one to another over the course of miles using drums. And then I guess they liked the feeling of it, and so they started moving, and the drumming moved them. And then I don't know how it evolved from there. I guess you got more and more vibrations together and different styles of instruments, so then you get more and more vibrations and you get layers. And a couple of realizations that I had was that it seems like music is an organizing force in the universe. So I was talking to my friend, and he said that when you burn something, you have heat. And heat, if you look at it chemically, is all kinds of molecules everywhere moving around, loosely connecting, not really well organized. Any gas is like that. So the oxygen in the air is like that. And so what happens maybe in the universe is that those molecules start to vibrate together at a certain rhythm, and they start to organize and find each other. And the ones that they can relate to, they do, and they connect. And they actually share. When two atoms come together, they share an electron, and that's their bond, the bond of sharing their electron. And so I think what happens is when they come together and they start to move together, they create a rhythm. And that is a pattern, and more things that are like that come together. In other words, when the drum plays, boom, 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 the other instruments have to kind of fall in line and go with that rhythm, so with that vibration. So say the drum's going, and then the guitar comes in, and it's going together. And so in this way, you have what we call harmony. More than one instrument, or more than one force of energy working together with other forces to create something more than you had originally. So harmony is when two energy fields, atoms or drums or instruments or two people, come together to create more than what you had individually. And so a lot of interesting things that I hope to come to and explore and learn about as we work on this documentary about why we dance and the common unity that exists both in the universe on the physical structure level and also with us as humans and in our spirit level. I don't know how the spirit works, but it seems like the co-creative collaboration when a band is playing together, or when two people are drumming, dancing together, or when lots of people are dancing together. One thing that I found is interesting is there's different structures of the dances of the different cultures. We have, of course, the option of dancing alone, like you'll see in the Russian dances with the ribbons. And then, I think that's the Chinese dances, with the ribbons. And then, but they dance alone by themselves, but they're in a circle. And so it seems like dances have evolved from being in a circle to being in lines to what we call contra dancing. And you're changing your partners a lot in contra dancing. And then we move forward and we have ballroom in the late 1800s where you're dancing with just one person for a while, and then you may switch partners or you may stay with that person. And a lot of ballroom is done in a circle again. And then in the 1940s or so, we discover Latin music and Latin dancing, and those dances dance in place. They don't travel around in a circle. So I just think it's interesting to look at the dynamics of the physics of movement and how that relates to the physics of the music and the physics of our culture. You know, is our culture a round culture? Is it a linear culture? Is it, when you look at the swing dances that I'm going to show in a little bit, you'll see kind of people moving everywhere, which seems like total chaos. But when you understand the connections of the music and the people together, you realize that there are patterns, of course, in the music, and then patterns that the people are doing. Excuse me. And then it's interesting how all the chaos works together and doesn't run into each other. There's not a lot of accidents. There's like all these possibilities and all this variation, and there's not a lot of collisions. And that's interesting to me because that is the ultimate of harmony, where you have so many options and so many variations, and you have the ability to work together and enjoy together and create a space for amazing connection and collaboration. So thanks for tuning in from the Dance Flurry 2011. I'm Dancin David from DancingTime.com, and let's explore this conversation together and see where we can go from here. Thanks. Bye-bye. So each generation has their own vibration, and they bring that to the music.
That's right. Each generation has their own feeling of the way music, they feel it, the way they feel it. You know, when I was growing up, when I was in the church doing music, you had one way, and that was really, you didn't put any beat to it like they have now, blues or jazz beats. You didn't put that kind of beat to the music in the church. You just had plain music, gospel music. But now you have all kinds of beats going on, and they are moving to them too.
So can you give us an example of the two different types?
Well, when I was coming along, a kid in church, you would sing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Now you take the young ones now, if they're gonna do this little light of mine, they're gonna put a beat to it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And I mean, they got the beat and the move to it.